I ain't tryna get your dick wet, but I need my pussy licked. After you can dip say you ain't getting pussy wet. No, I got some niggas that could say you had his pussy licked. Cause those niggas still be on my ass tryna hit again. I ain't in a love song, baby, you will never see. If I put it on you, you might probably never wanna leave. If I put it on you, you might even wanna marry me. If I put it on you, you might even wanna marry me. But you just a nigga that I call when I need it. Make me come 10 times when you eat it. Depending on my mood, I'ma let you beat it. You're lucky you get to see it. Cause other niggas wishing, but it's you that I fuck with. And I don't need a kiss and tell, nigga. If we fucking, it's a secret.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of Uncomfortable. I am your girl, MuvaEsh. And voila, this is my first Zoom meeting with a special guest today. Go ahead, girl, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Azaria. I'm from Toronto. I'm a singer, songwriter, and podcaster on Bad Gal Chat podcast. And I'm so excited to be on with you. I've been waiting to have a conversation.
Yes, my apologies for earlier this week. No excuse. I'm so happy that you're here today with me and we are able to continue this conversation.
No worries.
But yes, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about your Bad Gal Chat podcast. Where did the name come from?
Yeah, so me and my girlfriend, we're both Jamaican. Okay. And we just had conversations, and not that we never agreed with each other, but we just always had opposing opinions. You know, the way we describe it is like Misha's the spicy one and I'm the sweet one, quotations. So we ended up starting a podcast, and we talk about topics about colorism. We talk about, mostly relationships, because people love talking about relationships and celebrity gossip. I personally could care less, but as long as we can learn from their nonsense, that's all that matters to me. And yeah, so we ended up starting the podcast, and the podcast it's like a toddler. It's like 1.5. And I love doing it. Like, it's just such a beautiful experience.
Are you Zoom as well, or are y'all like in person?
So we used to do it in person before the pandemic. Now it's over Zoom. But it's good because then we can interview guests and stuff, and it's a little more accessible.
Y'all can reach people from that are not able to make it to Toronto. You say you're from Canada, right? Toronto? Yes, girl. I'm gonna come out there one of these days. We're gonna get it together.
Hey, come and chill. Honestly, I'm ready to leave. But, I've lived here all my life. That's different. So
I don't live in Philly no more. That's where I'm from. But
yeah.
So, I understand, I'm born and raised there, and people love it.
Yeah. Well, the city is a beautiful city. It is a beautiful city, and it's great in terms of tourism and stuff. There's a lot of tourism, and it's a great place to raise families and stuff like that. But I think when it comes to we don't have as a tight-knit community as you guys when it comes to creative work. So that's where it gets challenging over here. So there's a lot of people that don't necessarily want to support one another because it's like crabs in a bucket.
Okay, that's everywhere. I believe that's everywhere. Trust me, girl.
It is, but you guys have the infrastructure to be able to allow other people in. You know what I mean? No. Ashley's like, no.
We believe the same thing here. That's why.
Yeah.
Girl, and trust me, it ain't no better. It is not greener on this side. The grass is not greener.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if that makes you feel any better.
Hey, it makes my life easier, worst case scenario, right?
So I'm going to have to go join your podcast one of these days as well. I want to meet both of you guys. I think.
Yes.
Okay, so on my show, I like to do room temperature, which is basically just seeing how you feel. How was your work week? Anything interesting happened that stand out that you would want to share? And that's it. So checking the temperature of the room. How are you feeling today?
You know what? I had a really good week in terms of getting closer to myself. I know you're on a spiritual journey, so and I think this week was a good. Pardon me?
Say love yourself. It's such a feeling.
So I feel like this week I really got more in tune to who I was. I read a book called Choose Wonder Over Worry by Amber Ray. And I realized that a lot of the way I was operating was out of fear. So taking a step back and realizing and reflecting how to move forward in a positive manner out of opportunity really helped me this week. So, yeah.
That's great, girl. Did you get any dick?
You know, I was taken care of. I was taken care of today. Yeah.
Right, that is the top of the week for you. As far as I go, I'm still in, as you said earlier, that I am on a spiritual journey, but it's more so of a like self-cleansing journey, so self-loving journey. I feel like I've never loved. I was in a process before, and I feel like I kind of lost the way, like got astray, got tied up in the guy, which I have a bad habit of doing. But
we all do it.
when that situation ended, I like gathered the pieces of myself that I had and started to building it over and over again. And I'm still in that process, you know. Nothing interesting really happened this week. I still didn't get any dick at all. 2021 version, holla at me. I do this every year. It's sad.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I need to bring in the new year with a bae, so I don't have to go through this shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, when I tell people that, it's not to say like, oh, I don't want to fuck, because I like fucking. Okay, let's get that clear. I like having sex. I want to have sex. I just cannot have sex with someone I do not have a connection with. Like, I don't do sex anymore. That's
yeah.
So I don't. It's just not. And yeah. Do you do casual sex? I'm not a fan.
I honestly, personally feel the same way. I think at one point in my younger, not that I'm any like that old, but
how old are you?
I'm 22, so I'm fairly young, right? But I remember back in the days, quotations, because everyone was like, why don't you just have sex? Why don't you do it casual? I'm like, I tried it. It's not me.
That's it. That is
it's not. It's not. What's your sign, by the way?
Sagittarius.
Pardon me?
Sagittarius.
I'm surprised. Because y'all are like, you guys give off that persona, Sagittarius, like Jay-Z, Nicki Minaj, who else?
What, the sexy persona?
Not that you guys are always sexy, but like, you know, like most of them would be okay with like casual sexy, because my girlfriend describes it as like, you don't want to be tied down.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm.
I tried to wear that face for a little bit. I did. I'm not going to hold you. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be tied down. I kind of felt like I want some male company, so I had to stoop that low to get it. That's how and I felt, again, it didn't feel good after the times that I've had it. You know, it was just like, I don't like this feeling. I don't like it. So nowadays, you know, with me being on my journey, I'm paying attention to how I feel when things happen. Because I feel like it's important when it comes to the energy and vibes that are around you and guide you, is to always feel good in what you do. And if I don't feel good, I don't need to do it. You know what I mean? And it's not just one person. No, I've had a few occasions of a casual sex. You know? And I didn't like none of them. So it's like, you know, at this point, I should do something different, because that ain't it.
Yeah. I actually had a conversation with someone the other day, because I was like, before like we started having sex, they were like, oh, like, so I said like, yeah, I hadn't had sex like 5 months prior or something like that. And I just think for me, like, as long as you can take care of yourself, you don't really need to have someone there. And I'm not saying it's not good, it's not fun, but it's like weigh the pros and the cons of how it's going to be if this person's going to be in your life. Like, I'm a Cancer ass person. I am kind of emotional. So for me, having someone in my life in that way is harder. So I'd rather just please myself.
Perfect, girl. You couldn't have said it any better. And as far as the toys go now, did I bust a nut this week? That's a different answer. As far as having sex, no. It's just like, and then, you know, I don't ever try to replace niggas with toys, because I know I keep saying the N-word, Jesus. Is you too?
Are you trying to figure out how to
But yeah, it's not that I'm trying to replace the guy, because I love cuddling and I love that after feeling, but I would much rather wait for that than go to, oh, let's have sex. All right, I'm out. Bye. Like, I can't ask about my day, ask about how I've been, I don't know. So yeah, I've established that that's me, and
I think also people don't realize, like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but like having sex with an individual and then toys are two completely different feelings. Like, I don't, right? I don't connect them to the two. So when people are like, I don't know how you do it, I'm like, it's just a different feeling.
It is. It's the same explanation for when you're using toys during sex. You're like, listen, it has nothing to do with you. I promise.
Oh, some men, I don't know. They get really offended.
I haven't come across the one yet.
Really? No, I've gotten like, I feel like you're replacing me. Like I am not doing my job. And I'm like, no one said that.
Issue, and you need to deal with that insecurity. Because what are you talking about now?
Yeah.
I want you, trust me. So we're gonna move right along to game time. I love games. You know, my favorite game on the show is Would You Rather. This is basically two scenarios. You have to pick one. You can't pick both. If this is like, if you had to choose, if you had to make your body or whatever, you had to make these scenarios, you have to pick one or the other. Can't pick, can't pick both. Okay, so the first question is, would you rather toe sucking or finger sucking? So when I say toe sucking, it's like missionary positions, you know, toes in the mouth. And when I say finger sucking, it's like doggy style with the nigga finger in your mouth or something of that nature. Or you riding with your finger in his mouth. It's ways that niggas like, I think the more doggy style position is more what I'm talking about though. Because if you ever fuck a nigga and he's choking you and then he put his finger like right there, that should be crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I was thinking toe. I've never experienced it, but I was thinking of toe because of like, you know, girlfriends toe sucking Charles. But
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But I probably would do the finger. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do toe sucking. I've had it done before, and I can't wait to get it done again. How
does it feel?
It feel like it's honestly just another sensation. You know what I mean? Like I'm a fan of sensations. Like I'm a fan of, what is it called when you well, say for example, I like a dick in my pussy, right? I like a toy on my vagina. I like a finger in my butt. All simultaneously.
Oh, like the double sensation. Yeah, or triple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of sensation. So when it comes to something extra, like if I'm in missionary position and I have my feet in the air and he just puts while he's having sex with me, just put my toes in his mouth. It's something about the way that feels that I.
Yeah, no, it's a different experience. It's like if someone's like having sex with you and like holds you. I personally like that. Like, pardon me?
I said, yes, girl, yes.
Opposed to like, you know, I don't know, like some people be out there distant and like when they hold you, you just feel that connection more, you know, it's just, you know.
It's supposed to be a whole vibe. You hear me? Like a whole vibe. It's supposed to be a whole experience, a good experience, a great experience that two people share, and I love it. So you all having it because I'm not.
Sweet.
Do you like when people finger you when they're eating your pussy or no fingers? Would you rather fingers or no fingers?
Wow. Wait, say that again.
Like you ever had somebody eat you out and they start fingering you? Do you like fingers or no fingers?
Yeah, no, that feels good. If they do it correctly.
If they do it
personally.
Wait, please school the people.
Oh, because you know what I think it is? I think it's different sensations for different women. I know for me, I'm very, I guess my body's more conditioned to like how someone penetrating would have sex with you. So like, because I think I heard this study on like TED Talk or something where it's like, there are some women where the reason why they don't get stimulation penetrating is because their clit isn't as close to like the area where someone's penetrating. Okay. I luckily do. So for me, like the sensation, it will like hit it. So either way will feel good. So for that, I would get like your double sensation you're talking about. Like if they're fingering and they're like licking. So.
Right. That makes sense. And I never knew that. Is that a fact?
Yeah. And that's why it's like a large percentage, like 70 or something like that. And that's why, you know, how women will be like, oh, I'm broken. I can't have sex with my partner. I don't enjoy it. I'm like, it's because your partner is only fucking you how they want to fuck.
Exactly.
It's for their pleasure. And then also they're not, I feel like a lot of women are not like trying to figure out what they like for themselves.
Absolutely.
You know?
I had a girl on the show before say she never played with her pussy. She's like, ew, that's disgusting. She was grown too. She was like,
how do you?
And I'm like, girl, what? Yeah. So you mean to tell me you relying on the nigga every time you try to get that nut out? That's crazy to me. Like, no.
Especially like no shade, but I feel like you need to know what you want to teach them how to do it. Because no girl, like, no shade to people with penises, but a lot of it's they have the same kind of, you know what to do, the tricks, like, you know how to suck the dick, you know how to get them going. It's very, not say basic, but it's a common knowledge, you know. With women, it's like it varies to different people and different, you know, but then that's having a partner that's willing to like actually want to explore with you.
Hence the reason why casual sex just isn't for me. Like, I need someone who is willing to explore my body the way I need them to, and that be a thing for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mean something to them. I don't want it to be where, oh, I'm just fucking you and we're just having sex and you're that's it.
So I have a question. Do you feel like casual sex is like selfish in a way?
Who?
Like, do you feel like casual sex is like selfish in a way?
Selfish?
Mm-hmm. Like when the people are engaging in sex, obviously they know it's just an exchange, but because it's not the full experience that you could have, or the what's the word? The maximum experience. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think I understand your question, but what I would say to that is we have to first define what casual sex is. So for me, casual sex is meeting up with someone, you like their vibe, and you're like, oh hey, let's go fuck, like that. Like that's what casual sex is to me. And in that instance, you don't really know what he's thinking. Like, you don't know. Like, you can't guarantee anything. So it can be selfish. Either party can be selfish, but 9 times out of 10, who's gonna win? The male, because it's very easy for them. So for me, with us having the vagina, we lose when it comes to more times than not, in my opinion, when it comes to casual sex, especially if you're having sex with a man who don't give a fuck about your nut. They just try.
Let's talk about it.
It's like, I don't like just trying to fuck niggas. Like, I can't do it because I want to have sex all the time. Like, I'm not a just one-time girl anyway. Like, I need you to know that we need to have sex a lot. I need you to know that you like having sex with me. Like, I need to know that this is a thing. Like, conversations need to happen. People aren't that comfortable the first time y'all having sex. You like, yeah, so, and then not even that, casual sex, most niggas not even wearing a condom. So the STD question is not happening.
Can you tell me? I don't understand that.
Happening that needs to happen for me now. Like, it just needs to. It's just like,
I don't understand the not wearing a condom without getting tested.
It's a thing. Trust me.
You know what? I recently found this out, and I was telling my therapist, I was like, I don't know who people, like, I don't get it. Like, at least for me personally, especially I
slipped up a few times, and for me, I could just say it's a moment of weakness. You know, I've played Russian roulette with my pussy,
and people do.
Of weakness, but it's like when you get burned a few times out of that shit, you be learning your lesson and shit, and I've learned mine.
See, I'm one of those people that I'm so scared of becoming like I'm just really scared that I just need to, like, for me, I'm like, if there's no condom, like, it's not happening.
Absolutely, because if you leave it up to these men, they ain't wearing it. So you need to, yes, make sure you stay scared. As you should.
Yeah.
Next question. Okay. So, would you rather a big dick that can't fuck you long, or a micro penis that can fuck you good?
Two. Because people can have size, but like you said it, like they don't know how to work it. And yeah, There's also like different, we didn't talk about this, but there's different type of condoms. Like you don't always have to have a regular condom. You can have like a ribbed condom, one with dots and stuff. So it will give you the sensation.
You're right. Yes, it is. You are absolutely right. That goes to the whole notion of is not the size of the boat, is the motion of the ocean. A lot of people are like, oh no, it's not the motion of the ocean and the size of the boat. And I'm like, until you get a big boat that can't go nowhere, then you're gonna be sick.
Yeah, no, 110%.
Yeah, so the next one is, the last one is, would you rather your pussy ate or your ass ate?
I think the first one.
You think?
Yeah, I think the first one. I've never experienced the second one.
Okay.
So,
yeah, so you're a little on the younger side, so maybe you aren't as advanced in the sex terms that I'm.
No, I will claim it now.
Yeah, no. A lot of people, I just know when I do polls on my page, because my personal page, I do a lot of polls on there. Y'all don't follow me at MuvaEsh, MuvaEsh. I do a whole lot of polls on there, like every week, once a week. I just be shit. And when it comes to ass eating and pussy eating, some girls really enjoy their ass being ate. They be like, I put the ass in the face. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand it. Like, I've got my ass ate before, and not a lot of times because I'm not a fan of it. And I'm just like, oh, what?
Did the guy enjoy doing it?
Yes, niggas be enjoying
Okay.
it. Why wouldn't niggas enjoy doing it? Because in my opinion, ass eating is a lot easier than pussy eating. You can't get judged. You have to focus when you're eating the clit. Eating the pussy. You gotta find the clit. You gotta focus on it. You gotta get her there. A lot of niggas don't know how to eat pussy, so they run to the booty. They be like, yes, the booty. Yes, she likes it. Like, they be saved. But
I didn't know that.
Hell yeah, they be saved. I know y'all do, niggas. I'm on to y'all. Okay?
I don't know. I'm in Toronto. I don't know if it's a thing, but I've never heard of it being like a thing. But yeah, no.
It's a thing out here, okay? Niggas, y'all ain't slick. They're gonna come across these girls who don't do the booty eating. They're gonna have to learn how to eat some pussy. That's it. Just if you don't know how to eat pussy, just say that. You know? Just say that. And I can teach
and you can learn. Yeah.
You know? But yeah, okay. Thank you for cooperating in our game. That is the end of that. Next, we're gonna move on to foreplay. So when it comes to foreplay is basically me defining a word, sexual word that a lot of people have heard of. And today's word is called barebacking. Have you ever heard of it?
I'm sorry. You know what the joke is? I actually first just heard this word from my friend the other day. And when he said it, I was like, I did not need that image of you.
So do you know what that means though?
I think I have an understanding, but I may not know. Okay, my understanding is like fucking raw. That's my interpretation.
Okay. Fucking raw is your interpretation?
Yeah, but I could be wrong. I probably am.
Well, it's not a bad assumption because actually when I seen that word, I thought of the same thing. I'm like, oh, you're breaking my back bare. Like, you fucking bare. Bare is naked in my opinion. Like,
yeah.
Yes, it does. It does not mean no, it does not mean having sex raw. Like,
yeah. Maybe that's a Jamaican thing then.
Anal sex raw. So, yeah.
Oh.
It says anal intercourse without a condom. It is a noun in a vulgar slang.
That makes sense.
It says, anal sex. So basically, have you ever had anal sex?
No.
In anal sex, you're like, fuck no.
Sorry, I'm not good for the seasoning of this. No, I've just never tried it. I've never had it.
That's fine. I've had it and I haven't had it successfully. I'm trying to, loosen my booty holes enough to get to that point. But no, I'm not an anal sex person either. Do you try stuff?
Pardon me?
No toys? Nothing with fingers, nothing? Yeah, see, I like that penetration. So I'll do anal toys. I do the finger. I like the penetration. Like I said earlier, sensation is a thing for me. So yeah, shout out to all my barebackers out there.
That is hilarious. I did not know the actual definition. Thank you for educating me.
No problem, girl. That's what it's here for. You know, it's a lot of words out here that I don't be knowing until I look them up.
Yeah, no. I remember having a conversation with someone and explaining to them what head was. And they were like, what is that? And I was like, it's so...
What?
It was the older generation. Yeah, so they didn't know what it was. And I was like, it's like oral. Girl.
How old was she?
40s, maybe?
40?
I think different lingo.
Really?
Yeah, because they used to call it, what's the word? Obviously, it's not oral sex. There's another word for it.
She didn't have oral sex. You're just saying she didn't know what head was.
Yeah, like the term.
Let me give you head. Okay, girl. Woo, woo, girl.
I was gonna say no. I'm pretty sure she's experienced it. Don't worry.
Girl, you said 40 and she ain't good. What? I was like, hold on, wait.
Could you imagine
not
being able to experience like head at like 40?
I can't imagine not experiencing anything I want to experience at this point.
Did you see the video of like virgins kissing for the first, like someone that had their first kiss at like 27?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was on TLC, and the guy went to go kiss like this girl, and it was the most uncomfortable thing to watch. Like
painful, because I swear I always think like when people do things like that, it just be painful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. I mean, it looks painful anyway, and not that it really is painful, but it looks painful.
They just don't know how to make it. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's not you. It's I have a cat. I have a kitten, and he's over here.
Aww.
And he's scratching the shit out of me. So I'm just yelling because he's playing, and I don't feel like playing right now.
No worries.
But okay, cool. So we're gonna get into a few topics today. So I noticed that on your page you like post a lot of like sexy pictures and really just, you know, for me. That's what I've noticed a lot of. For me, and I love it. I love it, by the way. Like, I love
Thank you.
Going on Valentine's Day. This picture is for me, you know, real self-love going on. Do you ever see like that there's a difference in the way Black girls express how, you know, sexy photos and their reactions to it versus white girls when they post pictures and how it's like viewed differently, like in the eyes of the public?
So part of me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I went on a whole rant about this the other day. You know, the controversy with Chloe Bailey. Well, not controversy, but when Chloe Bailey was posting her dancing photos and her sexy photos. And I 110% do agree that there is a difference between Black women and when white women do certain things. You know, in Australia, white women can wear a bikini. They can take photos that may not be sexually suggestive, but just showing off their body. And then when it comes to Black women, I think the problem is because people usually don't allow Black women to have autonomy sexually for themselves. Like it's always them as the object for someone else. People vilify and see Black women as sexy, and that's not okay. Right. I meant like sexual beings. Right. And I hate it because, you know, I've had arguments, I've had fights over me posting certain photos and content. And I say all the arguments.
What was
yes.
That about though? Is your life, your page, your photos? What is the argument about? Like, what is somebody like? What could someone say to me about my page, and it doesn't fit their unfollow? You know, that's that button that's on everybody's page that everybody can click if they don't like what they see. So
well, the problem
just doesn't sit right with me.
No, yeah, you're completely right. And the problem is that people see it how other people would sexualize me and not the actual intent behind it and how it's being received. Most of the times, the people that like my photos are women. Mm-hmm. Most of the people that are supporting me are like women. Yes, of course, you get those guys that are like, oh, you're hot, whatever. But it's like, you think I already don't know that I'm hot?
Right, period. Yes, queen. Yes, queen.
I'm just saying. Like the last conversation I need to have is, like, you know, when you post that sexy photo, a nigga will be like, hey, sorry, YouTube. You know, a nigga be like, oh, hey, how you doing? How's your day? I'm like, you give me the same conversation every time I post a photo. I clearly know that you're not here for my brains.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think there is a big difference. And I think that holds a lot of Black women back from expressing themselves sexually because of those connotations. And I remember having a conversation with a girlfriend and she was like, you know, you don't understand how it's perceived because like you have a body, because I'm like more voluptuous. And
that's a thing too.
But for me, it's like any old skinny person or whatever could post and no one would have a problem with it.
At all. And let's think about how it's even shown as kids, right? As kids, you know, we have overdeveloped females who maybe have too big titties or, you know, really big butt. And if they was to wear like maybe a shirt that shows too much of their titties versus the same shirt on a white girl that has the same amount of titties, it would be like the Black girl's wrong. Like, oh, your daughter, what's your mom? Like, you know, she shouldn't have did that to you, or, you know, you. But the white girl would have no complaints, no nothing. She or the same outfit and the girl has no butt.
Yeah, but the problem is that you're sexualizing her. She could just be comfortable. I've had this conversation so many times where it's like, oh, you can't wear those certain jeans or you can't wear this. And I'm like, what's the problem? Because then you're allowing me to go into the world in a fear. And the reality is that if something bad was going to happen, we could take it there, right? It doesn't matter if you're wearing a turtleneck. It doesn't matter. They don't care. No one cares. You could wear a G-string. You could wear a bikini top. You could be fully clothed. It doesn't matter. So the reality is when people victim blame and say, oh, you're not wearing this and this is the way people treat you. Like I remember having a conversation and someone was like, oh, well, the reason why men are talking to you like this is because you're posting on Instagram. Pardon me?
I had the conversation too, girl. I know.
I replied, the comments that I got was when I was wearing a full-blown winter jacket, walking down the street.
Right.
People are just people. And some people just want to be shit disturbers.
And regardless, those type of people that said that comment, like, oh, the reason why guys do that to you, they're the same people who will look at you if you was to get raped after a club, like, oh, you shouldn't have got that drunk, or oh, you shouldn't have wore that top. It's like it's like, what the fuck is your problem? You have a real issue if you think that the reason I got raped is because I got drunk. The reason I got raped is because of the shirt that I have on. You know what I mean? It's like, and society makes it okay, and that's the problem. That's the problem. We need to take that. We need to, what is it called when they do something? Ban it? Yeah, we need to ban it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same. And like me, like, do you have OnlyFans?
No, I don't.
I have OnlyFans.
I'm not brave enough.
I have OnlyFans. I don't post on it anymore, but like, I still have it up. So it's like, I have an OnlyFans, and I feel like it's definitely a thing, even in the sex worker community, where it comes the difference between people are looked at. You know what I mean? Like, a white girl, like she could post, like I've seen it happen. I don't really remember the names, but I know exactly what I'm talking about. She'll post like, oh, I have an OnlyFans, and 1,000, 100,000 million people will support her. Yes, girl, get your coins. Yes, this and that. And soon as I say me, a Black girl, soon as I have 1 million fans, is, oh girl, what your son gonna say about his mom? Like, what ill? Like, you doing that for money? Like, it's just a whole bunch of, and it is, for me, it will come mainly from our Black sisters. It will from our Black brothers. Like, it will mainly come from us. And then on the same side of the token, with the white girl, it will come from them too. Support it. I don't like it.
And I think a lot of people fail to see sex work as actual work. Like, I've been friends with dancers. I've seen dancers at the studio. Like, when my dad's a producer. So when, like, you go to the studio, sometimes girls, like, obviously they wouldn't wear their, but they'd be like, yeah, like, I'm a dancer, whatever. And it's like, it's just how they make money. Yeah. And the reality is that you're paying for them because their services are good.
Right, exactly. That's it.
It's called supply and demand.
That's it. That's it. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of the things that you have to get what you want. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as nobody's dying, nobody's getting sick, nobody's doing none of it. So it's fine. If this is what I want to do, if it's what anybody wants to do, they should be able to do it without any type of backlash. And then again, that's just why another reason why I don't be giving a fuck about what people gotta say, because shit don't be making sense anyway.
Yeah, no, especially because the reality is that they're only bothered about you because they don't want to do what they want to do for themselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about how, like, when it comes to dating, because girl, are you dating right now?
I am.
Good. So when it comes to dating, it's like that too is also like viewed differently versus when it's a white girl and a black girl.
Let's talk.
What's her name? The one that's with Michael B. Jordan right now. Damn, I forgot her name.
Lori
Harvey. She is really dating out here, and shout out to her because she's doing it the right way. She ain't tripping. She ain't tripping on nothing what nobody gotta say, and I liked it. And we will have what about Kim Kardashian? People don't even talk about her no more. Like, let's talk about it. Like, people don't even talk about her no more, how she goes through these men, and there's no backlash about it. It's no nothing. And yeah, granted, she's married to all of them. It doesn't make a difference, though. It's just about how you carrying it. And dating right now, I think that men, when it comes to like having standards as a black female, that shit just be, it's like you not supposed to.
No. It's
like you are not allowed to have these standards, girl. Why? And that shit don't be making no sense to me because it be from my black kings. Well, they not kings if they thinking like that.
They're dusties. Sorry. But yeah, no, I think it depends on where you hear the advice from. I think a lot of the people, men and women that I've spoke to, they say like, you're supposed to have your high standards and whatever, but that's because they see your worth and they see your value. I think a lot of times in society, they don't see Black women's value, which is a joke because they usually steal everything from us, but that's a whole other conversation. Everything, right? But when Lori Harvey was dating, I was like, she's fine. We know she's not getting pregnant. She's playing the game.
Period. Like, how do you think, how have your experience been while dating while Black?
Dating while Black. It's been rough. In terms of my experience, well, you know what? I don't want to give it a negative experience. It was very eye-opening. I think I prefer to date Black men or men of color, quotations, just because they understand your experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man of like Jamaican descent. But when it comes to dating people outside of my like culture or race, it just depends on the person and their intention. Like I dated a guy that literally, we went on 2 dates, 3 dates. Mind you, I didn't have the best judgment as a 19-year-old, but pardon me? That's true. I recognize now, like a lot of times, like now I just think, oh, Azaria, it's okay. This is how you only had this much scope at the time, right? And the man fully messaged me and said, I heard Black women are higher experienced sexually.
I ain't got no more ginger ale, so let me just smoke this because sipping on my tea, because what?
And he was Middle Eastern, right? So now 3 years later, when I dated a man that was also Middle Eastern, and we were like semi-serious. Like we dated each other for like about 5 months or so, but like not like going, like we went out like every week, right?
Yeah, that's continuous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I remember having trouble wanting to have sex with him because of that experience, because I don't want to be seen as a fetish. Yeah. Because as you probably can tell, I have lips, I have a butt. Like that's where people are like the drawing factor, and it's the fetish of Black women, like how they fetishize Black women. So when you're dating as a Black woman, it gets frustrating because you don't know if the person is there for your body or they're there for you. On the flip side, because we're on a sex podcast, I'm a sexual person. Right. Not everyone wants to do the 3-6 months.
Right.
you know? So you really have to learn how to pick your poison and see how to like scope. I know my therapist gave me if you see something serious with them, hold off. If you don't, you can go get your needs met.
And I don't really like that advice from a therapist because I feel like, again, back to the whole casual sex thing is like, how do you know your needs will even be met?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I took it, but you know what I mean? I've been slowly realizing I'm just one of those people that like, I can only date. I can't do this multi-dating thing. Like, it's too much for me.
How many people can you date? Just one?
Like, dating two men are tiring. I'm sorry.
I feel like every girl should at least date two men at a time, at least. Only because when we have a tendency of putting all our eggs in one basket, and when that basket go to shit, that's it. That you gotta start all the way back over. But why not just, casually date around and pick the two that you can handle with schedule.
Okay, wait, let me explain. I can go out, pardon me?
Only just so that you can compare, you need something to compare it to because it's always better.
Okay, here's the thing. I can go on multiple dates. That's not a big deal. But when it comes to seriously seeing someone for a bit of time now, I'm like, shit's tiring.
I'm talking about like seriously dating, like weaving in and out through men just to figure out who works and then find someone to continuously date with, but not exiting the dating market. You know what I mean? Like, say you are semi-serious with someone and you're like, I don't know, something about him, so I'm gonna keep looking. I ain't gonna stop looking. I'm not like, giving my number out every day, but I'm not gonna not take it because I'm a single female. Like, I'm not in a relationship with someone like that.
Yeah. I know I've had the fault of like being loyal before loyalty is supposed to be met.
Who has it?
I know. I just think I'm just one of those. I'm not saying it's okay. Let me first say that. I know it's not okay, but I just think I'm just one of those people that like, when I'm feeling a vibe with you, it's like, I want to like build a connection with you. I want to like move forward with you. Like,
communicate this stuff?
Pardon me?
You communicated?
I did.
You did? No,
we'll see how it goes.
No, I'm not even talking about now. I'm talking about the times where you were loyal before loyalty. Like, are those moments where you communicate that that's what you want to do, or no, it's in your head and you're like, fuck it. I hope he ain't fucking nobody else, or I hope he ain't dealing with nobody else, but I'm going to just deal with him.
I've done both because I think it depends on the situation. Like, for example, pardon me?
Which one is a better outcome for you?
I'd rather lay my eggs on the table, but then I'd also like date other people, or like inquire with other people. I don't think I could like fully go and have sex with them and stuff like that, but I will date because like jealousy is a great trait to have.
First of all, let's be clear, y'all. Dating does not mean fucking, okay? Yeah. Dating does not mean fucking whatsoever. That is not, no. I can date 10 niggas and I ain't fucking none of them. Date 10, maybe fucking one of them. But yeah, dating is like, oh, I'm dating. Like, I'm single. Yes, I talk to a few guys, or yes, I talk to him, but I ain't turning down no numbers if I come across another one. You know what I mean? So yeah. For me, what I'm practicing right now is not being racist in my sex life. Like, I'm gonna try to date outside of my race, to be honest, only because I feel like what I've been trying to get, it hasn't been coming across with the guys that I've been picking. And one thing that I'm learning to do right now, especially when it comes to dating, is doing shit differently, because the same things that I've used to be, the same things that I used to do just hasn't been working for me. It don't matter how I'm trying to bend it, how I'm trying to break it. It never changes the outcome for me. So for me, now I'm on a path where I'm trying new things. I understand myself now. I know what I want. I know how I want it. So I'm kind of sort of dating. I'm dating right now, y'all.
No, that's good. In terms of you dating out, like outside of your race.
Oh yeah. With told to stop being racist.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's being racist, because I think naturally you want to be with people that look like you. Like, that's just a natural innate feeling. But for me, I sat down and like had the hard conversation of like, I think, like, I know for me, I was scared to date out of my race because like I had a teacher, one of my professors at school, that like she dated a man and had kids outside her race. And she said, you know, one of the hardest things for her is trying to help her child identify with the world. Yeah. Because the reality is that she is a Black woman, but her daughter sees the world racially, as a biracial woman, a biracial girl, right? So I was like, you know, it's not like I can help my child because they don't have that Black experience, but that's just something I'd have to learn and navigate, you know, if.
I'm assuming she was a female, a white female?
No, she was Black.
Black female.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I mean, that conversation, I feel like there's a difference in the way the conversation should have, hence if the female was white.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's harder that way, especially if the white people has Black daughters. I feel like that is like a real big term. But I can understand what she's saying. And, you know, I ain't even thinking about the kids part. I have one and I'm good. Like,
yeah.
I don't want no more unless I'm married and my husband absolutely wants one. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't even think that deep. I just felt like, you know, the way I want to be treated, I'm hoping to get, you know, I'm not going to stop dating my kings. I'm not, but I'm definitely going, you know, look around.
Flow. Yeah.
That's it. That's all. Because I'm really in a spot where I'm expanding my horizon.
Mm-hmm. And that's what women should do dating, period. Because, you know, Black men or other men of other races don't stop dating other races because they, you know, there is race loyalty, but sometimes there isn't. And it is what it is. I don't think it should be mutually exclusive to just Black women to be racially loyal.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, girl. I agree. So now we're going to move on to advice. You know, we're going to give advice. Someone wrote an email. Ooh, I love my emails, y'all. Y'all have any questions that y'all would like to ask me, go ahead and send them in at xmotheresh@gmail.com, and I'll read them on the show, y'all. Okay, I'm so hyped. But
no, it's okay. I love giving advice.
Look, the subject is, I think I love my husband. Hi, Ish. Keep me anonymous, please. Call me Kim. I've been hesitant to ask this question because I don't want to sound like I'm asking for permission / validation to cheat, but here's my situation. I am married to a man that is 25 years older than me and white, if that matters. We've been married for 10 years, and I've come to the realization that he would not be able to give me everything I want from a man, physically and otherwise. When I talk about this with people, they always ask, then why did you get married? And my answer is, I don't know. Either I don't see marriage as the end game, or maybe I don't love my husband. I would be happy to stay married to him because he's a good guy and there's nothing wrong with our relationship that would justify divorce, but I don't want to be with him only. What would you do in this situation? I realize most people would answer, first of all, I wouldn't have gotten married, but I did. I don't think I'm looking for advice, but more insight. Kim. And she sent the picture. Oh, she's so cute. Her husband. Oh, girl, go ahead and let them know. So first, I think her question is, what would you do? What can she do? She's married, first of all. She's married to someone who's 25 years older than her, and they've been together for 10 years. At this point, what would your advice be to her, or insight?
So this may not have been the deep advice she wanted, but I would reevaluate her being with him in general, because you could say he's a good guy, but he may not be the guy for you. You know, you clearly say there's nothing wrong, but what is making you wake up to be beside him? You know, I want to be in love with him. At least for me, I want to be in love with a man that, like, I love waking up beside you because I just think you're fantastic. You don't want, it's like settling for like a slice of pizza. Yes. Instead of you wanting your Italian meal, you know what I mean? Yes. So I would really have her reevaluate that. If he's open to an open marriage, maybe, but I don't know how she married someone 25 older. 25 years is a very big.
I'm trying to think. Let me see. I'm 25 right now. That means 25 years older would be 50. And if I was, and that can't happen because they were together for 10 years. So that cannot be the case.
Yeah. Because I was like, she do it for the money?
But as for my opinion, right? Because you already know the everybody is going to say, why did you get married? Because when you get married, it's viewed as a big thing. People shouldn't just jump into marriage like it's a relationship. No. If you don't want to get married, stay in a relationship. That's for one. But because you're married, let me see what I can do for you. So your answer to the question, why did you get married, is I don't know. That's where we fucked up, sis. We gotta change that.
I'm sorry.
Change that, because what do you mean you don't know? You have to know. You have to know. So we have to do some evaluation, like thought evaluation. Like, how did you feel when you met this guy? Remember, why did you marry him? Because you may not, it's 10 years is a long time. You may not remember anymore. You need to go back to that feeling, or you need to go ahead and think about it. Do you want to be married? First, these are questions that need to be answered before you even get married. But yes, since you're already married, let's ask. Do you want to be married? If not, you already in a situation where you don't see, you said either I don't see marriage as an end game, or maybe I don't love my husband. You don't see marriage as an end game. Let's start there, because there's no way that you could have seen your marriage as an end game and you married if you married somebody you don't love.
And marriage is not an end game. Life starts with marriage.
Right. I think her advice is good. Ask your husband if he's open to like swingers or open to an open relationship. There are sometimes, having that conversation can help. Like I don't know anybody personally in an open marriage, but honestly, like I've talked about being in an open relationship before. Like I've had that discussion. Not that it ever happened, but I've had that discussion and I'm open to it. You know what I'm saying? Like if the situation makes sense, I wouldn't be mad at it. So maybe you should just address him and let him know how you're feeling. First of all, communicate, because I think that's number one in all relationships. You need to communicate how you feel. Maybe he stopped doing something that you used to like that. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that you just don't know why you got married. You love this man. You love this man at least enough at one point in your life to marry him. So, yeah. A good guy, like that whole good guy thing, never a reason to be with someone. First of all, that's never, because there are a lot of good guys out here. Okay, as bad as as crazy as the world is right now, there are a lot of good guys out here that just it don't match with you. You know what I mean? Like it's like you want to like this person because of all these good things about them, but it's a vibe, it's a chemistry that's just not there, and you cannot force that. You cannot. You should not want to force that, and if you do, you'll be stuck in a situation that you are in now, and that's just the outcome of it. In my opinion, I mean, and he might really love you, so it might really fuck him up that you even did all of this. But I would say end things now before it gets any further. Like, don't look at it as, oh, we done been together for 10 years, I might as well. No. Y'all been together for 10 years. Y'all learned a lot in these 10 years, and you move on with the experience that you had with this man for 10 years. You know what I mean? Don't stay in a situation. And then especially if, when you're in a situation that you don't like, you act like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's issues that aren't issues for real, but you make them issues because you don't want to be there. You know what I mean? Making something miserable because you don't want to be there, that's not fair.
Yeah. I think also too, you could be scaring yourself and being, how do I explain this? Like sometimes you could be giving excuses and not letting your heart fully surrender to be in the situation. I don't think that's this case here anyway. But I think she really needs to sit down and have a conversation with him. But also have tangible written reasons of why you're not happy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Write it down. Get a piece of paper, write his name, the pros and cons of being on him, what he does, how it make you feel. Write it down. Write it all down so it can start making sense to you. Because once it start making sense to you, then the whole situation will begin to make sense. Everything that you do forward will begin to make sense. In my opinion, if it don't make sense, it don't matter. So it needs to make sense. And
what a letter.
Yeah. Good luck to you. Oh my God. Yes, girl. Thanks, Azaria. Azaria, did I say your name right? Azaria. Okay. Yes, thank you, girl, for coming through. Go ahead and drop anything that you think that the people need to know about you.
Well, I have a sex song out. Called ONS featuring Tia Banks. It kind of talks about all the stuff that we've talked about, wanting and getting your nut for yourself. ONS means one night stand, so go check it out. Also follow me at azaria.artistry on Instagram, Twitter, and wherever else social media resides. And then make sure you check us out on the Bag Out Chat podcast, and we will be having you on. And we talk about everything. So yeah.
Yes, girl. Thank you again for coming through. As y'all know, I am your girl, MuvaEsh. Y'all can follow me on all social media platforms at MuvaEsh. That's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Literally, that's my name. Y'all can follow my podcast page at Uncomfortable Podcast. That's UNCUMFORTABLE podcast on Instagram, Facebook. And be on the lookout for more merch that's going to be dropped sometime this month or next month for the Uncomfortable Podcast. I will be having more guests on. I know how to do the Zoom thing. Yes, now. So I'm a little excited about that. Also, y'all, don't forget to subscribe. Watch on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, everywhere to my podcast. And we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.